As I'm sure you're probably all aware by now, Warhammer Age of Sigmar has just been given a 4th edition with this brand new starter set, Skaventide. Now, this is a huge box with an absolute ton of minis. So I figured we'd try something we've never really done on this channel before, and that's a speed painting video. If you're anything like me, you hate playing the games with grey minis. I just can't stand it. I have to have my entire army painted. So my first thought when looking at this box was, how long is it going to take to paint 2 full armies before I get to play a game? Because I have to do it. And that put the idea in my head. I may as well film it and show you guys the process. So this is a little bit awkward. This is future Jake during the editing process, Jake. And yeah, when I got to the end of painting the Stormcast, I decided that this video would be better off being just a Stormcast painted video, right? Because it's a lot of minis, but you already know that from the title and the thumbnail, so I'm just putting this in this video to explain why in this intro I say I'm gonna paint the whole box. It was just much easier to do this here in the office rather than go back to my painting room and redo the intro in a fake way. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, how quickly can we get a tabletop battle-ready Skaventide box set? Let's find out. Oh, and also I recorded this intro before I even started the process of painting, so this video may never actually see the light of day. So if it has and you're watching it, then we made it. I hope you enjoy the video. So I genuinely opened up this Skaventide box with my paints out ready to go, and then remembered, oh yeah, I have to actually build them. Anyway, before I forget, here's a list of every paint I'm going to use throughout this video. Feel free to pause and check them out. So to start my first 5 models, I gave them all a prime in Chaos Black, then sort of a zenithal highlight in white, going a bit heavier on the cloaks. This allowed me to use a Frostheart blue contrast on the capes and also the shields, which I thought would be the quickest way of doing this. After all, it's a speed painting video. Okay, quick change of scenery for the day, heading into the shop to do some painting, let's go. So this little painting session was all about the shade. I was throwing on some, I want to say, Agrax Earthshade into all the kind of crevices to bring out shadows and give it some more depth. Again, shades and washes are a great way to speed up your painting process and make everything look a lot more detailed. I of course also used a lot of Nuln Oil. So this is where we're at the moment. I think everything looks pretty good. I need to throw a few more details on everything and then of course add the bases, because models are not finished unless you finish the bases. But I'm pretty happy with progress so far. Everything looks pretty clean. I did a decent job of not needing to do too much of a tidy up job afterwards. So again, that's helping massively in keeping the time down. Let's move on to the bases. As I normally do with my bases for any models, I throw on a bunch of the Astro Granite Debris technical paint from Citadel. I think that's what it's called anyway. You just slop this on real thick, throw a wash on it, dry brush some white, and then maybe stick a little tuft or something on it to finish it off, but it always looks great and works with most terrain types. So now that these are based, I'm going to call them finished. Look okay. Again, this is a speed painting video, so happy with that. Now on to these. So these are a very, very similar process to the previous ones, just a lot simpler. So I started with a Chaos Black Prime, then dry brushed some Stormhost Silver over the top, but actually I very much heavy dry brushed it. I think it's called overbrushing, which almost gives it depth off the bat. It's a very, very easy, effective, and quick process. Adding on the Retributor armor, the blue, and some more details, and here we are. Okay, that's another 5 minis painted. These are just dry brush the base, so that's 10 in total. These to a higher standard than these in, so far, 5 hours and 45 minutes. Not bad. So another quick update. Yesterday I managed to get through 5 of those Stormcast Eternal standard dudes, and then got home last night looking for the next thing to paint, which I believe was the winged dudes, and I realized there was another 5. So yeah, I'm going to be doing another 5 minis, as you can see. More of the same today. Luckily, I managed to do all 5 yesterday in about an hour, so hopefully it's similar today. Let's go! The exact same process for these 5 then. Annoyingly, not being able to batch paint 10 at a time has slowed me down a bit. Okay, that's 10 speed painted Stormcast Eternals. Now on to the fly wing people and these guys. So, funny story, I sat down here to do one of my beautiful time lapses that you've been watching for the rest of this video, only to realise that I actually recorded myself for well over an hour. So yeah, let's just skip over this, shall we? Okay, so after 9 hours, 9 minutes and 25 seconds, this is where we're at. And just started working on this guy. Bit of a mess right now, but we're gonna whack on some contrast paints and see how that goes. Get in there, this and this left, then we're done. Right, into the last session then for this project. The colour scheme was pretty much identical to everything else, as all of their clothes and armour are pretty much the same. But I'll be honest, this model was the one I was looking forward to painting the least. Because, well, I'm just not very good at painting these sort of creature-type monsterish models. I prefer the smaller, easier things. Anyway, let's check out the completed project. Okay, that is the army completely finished. One Stormcast Eternal army from the Skaventide Box, done in, hopefully you can see this, 10 hours and 53 minutes. I'm actually pretty pleased with that. The goal was to keep it under 12, and for however many minis this is, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25-ish minis, I think that's pretty good going. So overall, I'm happy. I had to cut a lot of corners to get this. You can see on a lot of the minis, I didn't use any green stuff to fill in any mold lines or gaps. And with the push fit models, I tend to find there are more gaps. So looking at them from certain angles, I'm very, very unhappy. The mounted dude and the guy with the torch especially, huge gaps in there that I cut that corner just to make this video have a better time result at the end. Normally I obviously wouldn't do that, but again, this is how fast can you get it tabletop ready. In terms of being tabletop ready, I think they're tabletop ready to a decent standard. They're certainly not something I'd want to show off to my friends. It's not something I'd enter into a painting competition, that's for sure. But if you really want to get things done quick, I think this is the way to do it. If anybody has any questions to do with the process of how I got these done, let me know in the comments down below. It was a fun project, but I'm probably going to go back to painting Middle Earth and 40k now.